Alright, all praise to the Most High Yahweh, and to His Son, my brother, Hamashiach Yahushai. Blessings to my brothers and sisters from the tribes of Israel. I'm back with another video on the E1B1A branches. A quick clarification and edification on some of the information that I gave, and let's get into it. So I'm on this page of wiki1.com, and it's dealing with the haplogroup E-M2, and that's another way to say E1B1A, as you can see. And another way to say E1B1A is also E-V38, and then you have other ways to say E1B1A, and that's M2 or DYS271 slash SY81, and this is the protein count and or sequencing of the proteins. And then you have another way to say it as well, E-L485 or E-U175, and that would be the regional labs that the E1B1A was tested at. So we're gonna get into some charts of some Bantu tribes, and once again, on the terms of Bantu, Moors, Berbers, Bedouins, Arabs, these are just umbrella classification and terminologies to easily and to purposely group people in the same region with either similar languages or cultural practices or behavioral things that they do when they migrate and so on. So it doesn't mean these are related groups of people, or it doesn't mean that they are not related. It's just a blanket term to group people in the region. So these are your Bantu tribes of people broken down in different sample percentages of the E1B1A branch. As you can see, we have some groups from West Africa and some groups from East Africa and some from South, meaning our people are scattered throughout Africa. So we're not just limited to a majority of West Africa. We have good amount of our brothers and sisters in East and South Africa, and also in some parts of North Africa, but not by a lot as is in West and East and South. So we have the same thing going on with E1B1A branches among our enemies, and this is like many of the eastern parts and central and some western parts of Africa, that we are among Hamitic groups of people, Shemitic groups of people, and Japhetic groups of people. So we are scattered, like the prophecy said, among all nations, and we are definitely living among our enemies. So we have another chart of some more of our enemies, but these enemies, most of these are Shemitic Edomites of the pale skin complexion and of the dark skin complexion. So the Moroccan Arabs would be your pale skin Shemitic Edomite groups. And the same with the Tunisians, it would be your pale skin complexion Edomite groups. And when you get into the Sudan, that's when Edom is their original color, the dark complexion, ruddy brown color, and the same with the color in Somalia, Djibouti, and Eritrea, and Ethiopia. All the people that are this brown, ruddy color that are non-Cushitic people, these would be your original Shemitic Edomite groups. And also among these people are dark Japhetic people, pale skinned Japhetic people. So, and you have some Shemitic Ishmaelites among them too. At this part right here, you have some more of E1B1A brothers and sisters among our enemies in the Middle East. But these groups of people, they are labeled Arabs, but they are not, the same people as the Shemitic Edomites. This group, the Middle East marker, white DNA marker, is a I and a J, and these are basically the same marker for a very long and big ranging haplogroup of G or R, depending on which one you want to understand came first. But those groups are nothing but Japhetic Caucasian people, from our dark complexion group to a light pale skin or a pale complexion group of people. And so you have in between those color spectrum, you have I and J. So the percentages and the people that are living in Israel and Gaza and Jordan and Saudi Arabia, Yemen, many of these people are the same people, Japhetic Caucasian people, that are pale to tan complexion people. And we have our brothers and sisters among them as well. And we have this sample of our brothers and sisters in America. And you notice the names. They could have done better with the names. This way it would be better fitting with the numbers. But I guess they didn't want to benefit the numbers or the names, because we all know how much the society want to call black people another name. So this time they couldn't call us African American. They couldn't call us Afro Cuban, and they didn't want to call us African Dominican or Afro Puerto Rican for some odd reason. But on census, they'll give you a detailed um, space to say black, non-Hispanic, black, non-this, non-Asian. So once you start to understand that the terms could mean little to nothing with DNA, the better off you are, because a lot of times they are just making these classification off of who they want to give dark complexion to, and the title of uh, being black or negro or Niger too. So we are in the branches. So we are in the E1B1A branches, and basically these branches could be more more detailed branches with more samples, but this is the data and the information that they put on this page, and they could have easily broke down some of these branches further down within the branch itself, but this would probably be like a 50 plus page site within the site itself. So they just limit the information because I'm pretty sure they already felt like they gave us or too many African American people or other people that are looking for this E1B1A information a little bit too much information. So a brother wanted clarification and edification on the Igbo people. He wanted to know, is it really true if the Igbo people are closely related to the Yoruba people? And I have to say yes. Not just that the group is closely related, but they also are of the same tribe in Israel. That would be the tribe of Gad. So with this breakdown of the E1B1A branches, the branches are set up by alphabetical numerical markers. Sometimes the alphabetical markers, and sometimes the numerical markers, and sometimes both. And we have to understand our brothers and sisters have the same paternal line, but we vary with our maternal line. So the marker tells you when the separation happens, and when a group, when our brothers, when we share a common maternal link. So even though the Y-DNA don't deal with the maternal link, but this breakdown right here, when you start to understand the grouping of the branch, you'll understand that you are dealing with the brothers. So you're dealing with the brothers that are basically that came first and had the same maternal and paternal parents, and then you'll see the gaps in between the other brothers dealing with the other maternal group of moms, and so on. So this is the branch itself, and look how long and how it goes on. Like some of these groups just carries on, and at one point they stop at the end right here for the group that should be for Joseph and Benjamin. They just stop, and they don't want to give no more information, and that's maybe because these two groups dealing with Joseph and Benjamin at this E1B1A, 1A, 1H, will probably break down into so many more branches that it'll be triple the amount of branches that you already see. So you have this setup to where we want to understand some stuff, and we're gonna come up the page real quick to get to a few quick points. Um, Maybe I should just start with the Nigerian thing. So let's see. This right here, this E1B1A, 1A, 1F, this will be your tribe of Gad and Israel, your tribe of Gad and Asher. And this will be your Yoruba group, your Igbo group of people. And among these people, they had sample groups of people that basically had other origins. And once they had other origins or branches, being among Yoruba or Igbo or other related groups to those massive tribes, you have a what you call a notification or a notation of that being the case. But we scroll down and we see the other way you could call E1B1A, 1A, 1F, 1 or F1A. The other way you could call it is E1B1A7. So that would be for Gad directly, and then the other one would be for E1B1A 8, and that would be for Asher. So with that being the understanding, we have a couple countries that they highlight as being the source of these samples, and they have once again this region of where they do the tests, the testing at E-M191, and then they test the percentages of the percentages are dealing with the E1B1A 7 group. So how we saw earlier on the chart, the high percentages of the E1B1A were now in these branches, they are sampling just the marker for the exclusive branch or group of E1B1A7. And as you can see, Nigeria is a part of the group. The Igbo people are a part of that group. And we scroll down and we find, let's see, okay, and now we have another interesting marker. Let's see, F, yeah, still our group of people with the tribe of Gad. Let's see, and is the breakdown of more branches because the Bible prophecy is talking about how Gad is enlarged, and that's dealing with people and with land. So the tribe of Gad would be a massive group as well. And among this group, you have Yoruba people as well. And many of our brothers and sisters that are from Yoruba and Igbo, they are having a hard time dealing with the curses because of many conflicts that they are having from the past until now, as we all do. We all have this problem with getting along with our brothers and sisters, hating ourselves and each other more than more than we hate our enemies. And we don't know much about our enemies, but we definitely know much about the enemies of our people, and that's sad. So that's why I'm doing this DNA information to better inform our people about each other and about our enemies. So we are definitely close brothers and sisters, but a lot of our people don't want to deal with that fact, and we have to better our relations with each other and build off of simple things that we don't have to go full unity, but we have to get to those points to start building and to get ready to get ourselves ready for the coming of our brother Christ, and for us to be prepared before Christ come, not asking him to do everything for us, but we have to be prepared and be the body armor, be the bride. We have to already be understanding of those things that we need to be, and not be wasting our time trying to hold on to things of this society, because most of these disputes are over gentrified regions and territories and communities in the Americas and Africa. So we are fighting over things that we are not gonna no longer have control over to begin with in this society, because everything is gonna have to collapse and fall apart to begin with. So the other thing was, on this next group, you have some of Asher mixed among Issachar, and Zebulon, and they make a notation of that, and they let's see, let's see, that's not good. They make a notation of that, and then they also make a notation of Judah being among Issachar and Zebulon. So, like I said, this E1B1A 8 would be Asher, but with the alphabetical setup right here, this would be Issachar and Zebulon. And down here, so you have the notation of those things. with the percentages and everything. And further down, we get to another notation of Judah being among Issachar and Zebulun. The E1B1A4. So E1B1A4 would be this one all the way at the top. All the way at the top. Okay. It would be your E1B1A, 1A, 1D. And notice what they have under that. Single carrier in Mali. That was the only bit of information they wanted to share. So now that we understand some things about our people, because we do share a lot of our culture from like these Bantu classification among the major Bantu tribes with the Ashanti, the Yoruba, the Igbo. Those groups are holding a lot of the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Israel. So just because a lot of these Bantu tribes wasn't sampled, many of them are still uh, minor groups that are related to those major groups, which will have the tribe of Joseph, Simeon, and other groups of people. So we're going to get into some other information. Let's see. We're going to go with this chart. So this would be your Bantu chart for only just a few branches of E1B1A, and this would be mainly for the Israelite tribe of Gad and Asher. And it shows you in general the E1B1A branch versus Gad and Asher. And they let Asher have several other breakdown within the branch to compare it to Gad and the other E1B1A groups. So Gad would be the blue pie cut, and Asher would be the remaining colors of red, green, and yellow. And then you have a like a sky blue color for E1B1A groups of maybe like the first top percentages of from Reuben to Judah, and then you probably have the dark half or the gray bots dealing with the other branches. So as you can see how big Gad is, and then how big Asher is with their population or with their samples. So that, and what else? And let's look at this chart real quick of the Americas. So the same thing with this. So eventually we'll get into talking about the 12 tribe chart of America or the Americas. But the way things are with the samples, with the E1B1A samples, is almost similar with the last chart. So we have E1B1A dash M2. So that's the general branch, like other branches that are not a high population of the main pie colors. So they are varying. They vary with their branches. So this chart just group those things in together because they vary in these locations. So you have the M2, the overall E1B1A signature pool, and then you get into a detail pool, which would be your E1B1A, and then your E1B1A7, and then your E1B1A8, I believe. So you will have irony. You you will have Reuben, Gad, and Asher in the same region in the Americas as a big population, along with other groups of Israelites that aren't classified. So this could be Levi, Simeon, Judah, Benjamin, and so on. So this would be a very interesting chart, and I wish they could have just broke down the E1B1A market itself some more to better understand the percentages of all the other groups among our people of Reuben, Gad, and Asher. And also in this group, let's see, you have our enemies. Where's this E1B1B, E1B1B? You have Edomites, I believe. Right? E1B1B. Yeah, E1B1B in percentages. You have a lot of Japhetic groups of people in percentages. So let's see, you have some Hamitic groups of people. You have, what else? Are there the natives? Any native groups? Let's see. Yeah, you have Caucasian native groups as well, but they don't have. So in this region, they don't have the competing groups of native people. And what I mean by the competing groups of native people, you have a Shemitic group of native people versus a Japhetic group of native people. So, and on this chart, you don't have it. So, the C group, the CYDNA group, would be the Shemitic group of Moabites. That would be your Aboriginal people of Australia. Those people would be your Moabite people, and many of those people, some of our brothers and sisters are confusing them to be Israelites when they are not Israelites. They are just a dark complexion group of people that are the children of Moab. And then you have the D group, which would be your Shemitic group of Ammonites, and they are also a dark race, and they also have a a lighter complexion group of people, but not that much more like the Shemitic Edomites and the Japhetic Caucasian groups. So I know it's confusing, but yeah, that's what we have to deal with when we try to understand Caucasian people philosophy. And the Q groups right here, the Q groups, and even the R groups right here at the bottom of the page, all those would be your Native American groups of people as well. The only thing is the commercial and maybe even the government um, DNA sample pools, they will accept C groups and Q as Native Americans. This Q right here would be another Caucasian group, but this R group, which is also sometimes a designation or classification of Native American people, they sometimes don't accept that as a Native American population, and that's because this R group right here deals with the Caucasian race. So within this R marker itself, this R marker could be the original beginning group of the dark race of Caucasian people. And among this subclade itself, you have pale skinned Caucasian people, most of the ones that are covered with freckles, that would be that group. And you will have also have dark complexion people. In some DNA maps, you have this as a native population or a native white DNA signature mark. And many African Americans that have Native American ancestry would be actually a Japhetic Caucasian person because this is still a dark race of people. Okay, let's see what else. What else did? And real quick, this little page with a little bit more information because um, we also have to understand some of our brothers and sisters carry oral tradition and information on them to keep either to themselves or when other people are looking for answers about Hebrew people in Africa, they have some understanding and information about that. So we have this chart of classification or designation of more tribes that are so-called Hebraic Israelites, but some are not. So this Ethiopia Falasha group, there might be a small percentage, a very small percentage of our people among them. But this group are actually Hamitic people, the A group. They would be A and some might be B. And that's about it. So that they will be off the real list. This group right here, this Abeyuda Ya in Uganda, this group would be technically on the list of being Israelite because Uganda is actually in the region that we are originating from Uganda and Rwanda. So a lot of our people ended up going back to the regions that we, started from. So this group would be the name of the group actually is Judah. So that would be Judah in Uganda, the Tutsis and the Hutu of Rwanda. They're few, and the way they've been going at it reminds me of the prophecy for Simeon and Levi. So these two groups of people could be Simeon and Levi. The Hutu and the Tutsis, they are also a part of the E1B1A classification of Bantu tribes. And they wasn't, they're not stationed in West Africa. This is East Africa. And this Zimbabwe group, the Rusepi or Wasapi, Zimbabwe, this group right here was actually started by an African American slave that went back to Africa, and he started to teach um, other African slaves, meaning other African American slaves that went back to Africa, or Africans in general, about Hebrew culture and about being Israelites. So that's interesting. I think that's the group. I did my research recently, but it is not, up to speed with this video. And if I had my notes or thoughts with me to better explain just this article, but that's what I think happened. A brother from the slave trade went back to Africa when slavery was over and started a Hebrew culture in that part. And then we have the Limba, who also come from Zimbabwe and South Africa. They covered those areas, and that's an interesting group in itself. This group basically have E1B1A people, but we just don't know how many and how much. They also have Caucasian markers in their group, and the information on this group just shows that versus Shemitic Edomite groups percentages of being Jewish, and that's interesting in itself. And the Lemba people aren't a major population, but they do have like a different origin than being Bantu. They actually have proof that they um, used to live in Israel and started to migrate down into South Africa, and but they are, you know, also similar with a lot of Bantu practices. So the scientists really wanted to use, misuse and to use a lot of their information against them and against our people to connect Caucasian people and other Jewish groups to a close ancestor, but they couldn't, and they have the Wikipedia page for you to Google that and to find out more information of that scam. And then the rest of the tribes are Ashanti groups of people, and the Ashanti people would have Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and maybe some Northern Kingdom tribes. It, they are also a major Bantu group of people in West Africa. And then you have Benai, Ephraim, sons of Ephraim, Yoruba, Nigeria. And I told a brother that also the Yoruba people could also have parts of Ephraim and Manasseh among them as well. And like we found out on the branches, they have not just Gad and Joseph, they have Issachar, Zebulun, and possibly other people from Israel within the group. So we have to understand that about all these major Bantu groups having our brothers and sisters among them. So we just can't, you know, continue to be misinformed about our people being our enemies when they are our close brothers and sisters that we have to be blessed with to be together right now in the kingdom of Israel. And we have to get better at, you know, coming together and bringing out this information because we are easily to get angry and to say this information is bad, but I say any and all information so we could put it together and solve this puzzle. And like I said, we be ready when Hamashiach Yahushai or when Christ come. Both both we need to understand that there's a spiritual and a physical content where our brothers and sisters both are needed. So we do need Torah, we do need the gospel, we do need history, we do need science, we do need to bear the witness to everybody's spirit. So this is just another part of the puzzle to help solve this mystery of where our people are. So I wanted to just share this with you about those things, and hopefully I edify my brother and my sisters with this information, and hopefully you too could add to it and either correct me or, you know, give me a better understanding of something that I missed, because I'm still learning the Y-DNA stuff and the mitochondria DNA setup. So, and I will eventually get into the maternal lines. Other than that, right now I'm just working through the massive data of Y-DNA because we are blessed through the houses of our Father. And yes, DNA do suppress information to where instead of doing the paternal group of the DNA sample population, they'll do the maternal group for everybody because the male carry a X and a Y, and so they could also do your maternal group on the male as well. So they have more charts dealing with big groups of populated samples dealing with just our maternal group of Shemitic Israelite stock. And it's like everything else, they do it on purpose so they could constantly keep us um, misinformed and making us, stop wanting to research and find things out on our own. So once again, all praise to the Most High Yahweh and to His Son, my brother Hamashiach Yahushai, and blessings to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. Peace, shalom to Israel. Until the next video.